Good afternoon. Today we will be studying with band reject filter. Okay. So band reject filter is one of the classification of band pass filter. So basically what all the things we studied, basically we studied band pass filter. In band pass filter it is categorized as band wide band pass filter, narrow band pass filter and wide band reject filter and narrow band reject filter. Wide band pass filter and narrow band pass filter was completed yesterday. So today we shall be starting with band reject filter. So how a band reject filter is formed? A band reject filter consists of mainly the three blocks which you can see it on the screen. That is the high pass filter block, the low pass filter block and the inverting summer block. Okay. So the output of both high pass and low pass section is given to the inverting summer and finally you will obtain the output. So first of all, basically, what do you mean by a band reject filter? So band reject filter means it has the capability to reject certain range of frequencies. Suppose if I say the range of frequency is from 1 kilohertz to 10 kilohertz, this band reject filter can reject the frequency range from 1 kilohertz to 10 kilohertz. The rest of the frequency will be allowed. Okay. So how to summarize this? Basically, a band reject filter is a filter which can reject the band of certain range or certain band of frequency. For example, from 1 kilohertz to 10 kilohertz, if I take from 1 kilohertz to 10 kilohertz, it can reject the rest of the frequencies, they are allowed. Okay. So it basically consists of three blocks. I told you: high pass section, low pass section and an inverting summer. So this is high pass section, low pass section and the inverting summer. The output of the inverting high pass section and low pass section is given to the inverting summer. Okay. So now how does the frequency response of this look? Okay. So the frequency response of this band reject filter is as shown in the figure. So basically, before knowing that, you should keep in mind that we are combining the two high pass and the two sections, that is high pass and low pass. So the frequency response will also be combined. You have to combine while drawing the frequency response. You have to keep in mind the frequency response of high pass filter, and you have to keep in mind the frequency response of low pass filter, and then finally you have to draw the frequency response. See here, this is the frequency response. Okay. So how does the frequency response look like? First imagine, the once again, this is which one? Wide band pass. First remember the draw the frequency response of which filter. Draw the frequency response of high pass filter, then draw the frequency of low pass filter, and then you can do it together. So here you can look at the frequency response here. See, this is pass band, this is reject band, and again this is the pass band. So between FH and FL, the band of frequencies are rejected. After FL and after FH, the two frequencies, these range of frequencies are allowed. Basically, you will get the response curve like this. So let me show it. Okay, let me execute and show it. So here, let me go to ERC. So no errors are there. So go to TNDM, go to signal analyzer. Please observe this on this one, start. So you can look at the response curve. Please look at the response curve, how nicely it is coming. Okay, look here, this is the frequency response curve. See, I will take this as FH and let this be, once again, let this be FL. Okay, so this is FL and this is FH. So the range of frequency between FH and FL, this is the range of frequency between FH and FL. These are rejected and these band of frequency are passed. Okay, so therefore we call this as band reject filter. Okay, so this is the main concept of band reject filter. Okay, next what we have to do, there is a numerical given. You have, it is there in the notes, you can refer it. This is about the band reject filter. Next, let me go for the narrow band reject filter. So where is the let me go for the narrow band reject filter. Let me open that file, narrow band reject filter. Okay. So this is the circuit diagram of narrow band reject filter. See, basically it consists of two T sections. See, R1, this R1, R2 and one C1. R1, R2 and C1 will form one T section. Similarly, C1, C2 and this R1 will form one more T section. Basically, it is a non-inverting amplifier with an voltage follower, like means the gain is equal to 1, and the input is given here to pin number 3. How the input is given? First, we are making to T section. So then the output of that is given to the non-inverting terminal. So what is the input voltage you are giving? You can go like this and watch. This is the function generator. So whatever the input signal we are giving, its frequency is 10 kilohertz, amplitude is equal to 1 volt. Okay. So basically what is meant by a narrow band reject filter? Narrow band reject filter is also known as a notch filter. Okay. So notch filter means what? It will reject only one band, one range of frequency. Suppose if I say 60 hertz, that 60 hertz frequency will be rejected. The rest all the frequencies will be allowed. Suppose if I say 1 kilohertz, I want to notch 1 kilohertz. So what it will do, only 1 kilohertz frequency will be removed. The rest of the frequency will be allowed. Okay. So that notch frequency is represented by f of n, which is equal to 1 by 2 by r into c. This is the formula. Now f of n represent what? Suppose if I want to notch a 60 hertz frequency. Okay. So this becomes 60 hertz. 1 by 2 pi r, you have to design the value of r, wherein R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R3. Okay. Then, sorry, this R3 will be R by 2. This R1 will be equal to R2 and this R3 will be equal to R by 2. Okay. Then the value of C, as usual, you have to assume it has how much? 0.05 or 0.01 microfarad, which should be less than or equal to 1 microfarad. This is how you designed it. And one more numerical is there. You can solve that. Suppose you only take down, if the frequency is 60 hertz and C is equal to, you are assuming 0.01 microfarad, what is the value of R? So R is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi. C is 0.01 microfarad. R, I told you, 60 hertz. So if you solve that, you will get the frequency as how much? 449.1 hertz, I think. Okay. So that is how you will obtain. And again, the numerical is solved in the notes. You can refer. Okay. This is about the notch filter. So this completes the filtering part. Next we shall go for the multi vibrator. Okay. So what are multi vibrators? Basically multi vibrators are used to generate waveforms. Okay. So multi vibrators, basically we will make use of the 555 timer integrated circuit, and then we will study the working of monostable and a stable multivibrator. So first what we have to do, we have to know about the 555 timer IC, then we have to go modify it as a monostable multivibrator and then a stable multivibrator. Okay. So this is a 555 timer. This is the pin diagram of a 555 timer. Basically it is an 8-pin IC. So this is ground, this is trigger, this is output, reset, control, threshold, discharge and VCC. And this is the functional internal block diagram of a 555 timer. Basically why it is known as 555 timer? Because 555 means it is made up of 3 5 kilo ohm resistor. Okay. And this is the VCC. To be more clear, let me show this diagram, this block diagram. You'll be easily able to follow. See, basically this is a 555 timer circuit. So 555 timer, this VCC is given here. It is divided across 3 5k ohm resistor. We are using 5k, 5k and 5k. Okay. So pin number 5 is the input given to the inverting terminal, and pin number, which one? This one. Sorry. And this point, which is B, which reads the voltage about 1/3 VCC, because by applying voltage divider rule at point B, we obtain 2 by 3 VCC. By applying voltage divider at point A, we will obtain 1 by 3 VCC. These are the reference voltages. Basically this is known as the upper comparator and this is known as the lower comparator. For the upper comparator, the reference voltage is at the inverting terminal, and for the lower comparator, the reference voltage is 1 by 3 VCC. Very, very important. The output of the upper comparator is given to S. We are using basically SR flip-flop. So the upper comparator is given to S, and the output of the lower comparator is given to R. Okay. Next. So what we are doing here, any given input voltage here at pin number 6 will be compared with 2 by 3 VCC. Suppose, how it works, suppose if the voltage at the threshold, or if the voltage at pin number 6 is greater than 2 by 3 VCC, the output of the upper comparator will be 1, and that will be applied to S. Similarly, you are connecting the reference voltage to the non-inverting terminal, and here you are giving one more input. So since we are giving this to non-inverting terminal, how it works? Suppose the input voltage is less than 1 by 3 VCC, the output of the comparator will be 1. See, always the purpose of using this SR latch is, what happens here? See, the output of one comparator should be 1 and the other should be 0. Under that condition, it will work. It will work. If R is 0, S should be 1. That condition is also considered. If both are 1, it will not work, because if both are 1, it is not considered. So either S should be 0 or R should be 0, or either S should be 1 or R should be 1. Both cannot be 1 or both cannot be 0. Okay, that is the purpose why we are using this. That is the purpose why we are connecting the reference for inverting terminal here and the reference to non-inverting terminal here. That is very, very important. Okay, next, what we are doing, again let me go back to this figure. Okay, so how exactly it works? See, here I told you at pin number 6, the applied voltage compared with 2 by 3 VCC, if it is greater, the output is 1, which is applied to R. Okay, suppose if it is less than 2 by 3 VCC, it is 0, your R will be equal to 0. Here also pin number 2 is used to give the trigger input. I will tell you what is trigger input. When the input is less than 1 by 3 VCC, the output of the lower comparator is 1, that is given to S. If the input is greater than 1 by 3 VCC, the output of the lower comparator is 0, that will be given to S. So the truth table of SR latch is, if SR flip-flop is shown, you can refer. Okay, so this is the basic diagram. This is the basic monostable functional block diagram. 555 timer, sorry, not monostable, this is about the 555 timer. So how do we make it a monostable? How do we make it a monostable multi vibrator? Means, see, this is the internal functional block diagram. We will connect the resistance and the capacitance here. By varying the value of the resistance and the capacitor, we can, and by varying the value of the resistance and capacitance, and by applying the trigger, we can control the output voltage V out. Okay, so the working of that, let us continue tomorrow. Okay, thank you students, study well.